Dear fellow youth leaders, Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and lovely children, a warm good evening to all of you. I, Mohammed Roshan, welcome you all to the meeting number 5 of Periyar Youth Leadership Program 2022. Before we move forward, I would like to recite the mission of our club. The mission of Youth Leadership Program is to conduct the program based on the belief that every young person has the potential to become a good communicator and leader. But this potential needs to be developed. The program is uniquely designed to enable the youth leaders to develop their potential through practical experience. In the Youth Leadership Program, we do not discuss matters related to sex, religion, and politics. Before we start this interesting session, I would like to receive you all to switch off your mobile phones or any other electronic gadgets or put them in silent mode to avoid any distraction during the session. Now it is my privilege to introduce the presiding officer for today's meeting. Please help me welcome our dear presiding officer of Periyar Toastmasters Club, Mr. DTM Harishankar, as the presiding officer of our today's wonderful meeting.
Thank you for that energetic introduction. Dear all, how is life nowadays for you? I understand it is exam time in school and we have got 2 meetings each every week. You don't be very much stressed. Don't you feel too much stress now? Do you feel so? Yes, that's natural. But do you know something? You are far more capable than whatever this trust demands. You can conquer far more. That much is your capability. Now, how does a typical day looks like for you? Like you come back from school with a list of items to do. There is homework to finish. There is studies you have to do for the next day's exam, and you have to finish something for tuition, and you have to prepare you for the international speech. So there is kind of like bees humming in your head. Do you have that kind of feeling? You have it exactly. So when the bees go on in our head, what do? We are distracted. We cannot decide what to do first. So most likely when I was a child, what I used to do is that I used to go take a nap, and when I woke up, I would have completely forgotten what all the things I was supposed to do. Do you have that kind of experience? Afterwards, you might immediately wake up that you decide, oh, I have to finish, and this is suddenly the submission deadline, as well as I have to complete the homework assignment, everything together. You get stressed out to the extreme. Has it happened to you? It has happened to me a lot of times. Do you want an antidote for it? Do you want a simple technique such that it will never happen to you again? You would like. So what is the issue there? The issue is about our memory, isn't it? We cannot remember exactly what we are supposed to do and what is the first thing we have to do first. Our mind fails to tell us what are the backlog of items we need to finish off and what is the best time to do each item in that. Isn't it the challenge? Yes. So, do you want to improve your memory better than the best supercomputer in the world? Would you like to have that supernatural power so that you will never forget? And it will be very clear to you every moment as to what you have to do and which one to do at that time. Would you like to master that superpower?
Yes.
You want to do that, okay? I am going to give you a very, very, very powerful mantra. This is unknown to almost 100% of students and more than 98% of adults. I am going to give it to you now. A very powerful mantra. Are you ready to get it?
Yes.
Close your eyes. Have you all closed your eyes?
Yes.
Close your eyes. Okay, when I say open your eyes, I will show you the mantra. Okay? Open your eyes. What do you see here? A paper and pen.
Yes.
So the trick here is the faintest of ink is more powerful than the strongest of memory. Whatever you have to remember, you have to write down on a piece of paper. Once you have written it on a piece of paper, is there any risk that you are ever going to forget it? No. This is a very, very simple technique. But do you know the sad fact? 98% of adults, despite being told multiple times, don't do that. So that gives you all a very wonderful opportunity. If you will do just this thing, you will be ahead of about 98% of adults and about 100% of students. You will have that superpower. Just write down what you have to do. And then, two things will happen. Instantly, once you have written all those things in the piece of paper, instantly the bees humming will stop in your head. Try it and experience it. The bees will stop humming, and once you read all the list of items, you will feel motivated to complete them one by one. Trust me, you are not going to find more than 10 items in your to-do list once you write. And once you see that it's only so little for you to do, you will feel so much encouraged that once I finish this off, I can enjoyably go and play. I can do whatever. That will be an empowering feeling for you. And what will happen? You will not forget anything. You will do all the tasks on time, and you will enjoy your life, and you will be ahead of 98% of the population on that earth. And this is a very powerful technique, but the good thing is that it's a very, very simple technique, and hopefully it will help you all during this kind of stressful times. Try and see for yourself. Alright? With that, please help me now welcome on stage our Chief Youth Leader Coordinator, my mentor, my inspiration, Niche Manasinagar.
Thank you, President. Dear agile youth leaders, lovely parents, and very honorable guests and Toastmasters, very warm good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Good evening is not powerful.
Good evening.
Yeah. Today, let me ask you two questions. First of all, do you enjoy reading?
Yes.
How many of you enjoy reading? Just raise your hand. Most of you. Good. Do you love changes? You don't love changes. You don't want to go to Switzerland. You don't love changes? You just want to be in the same state. You don't want to improve.
Yes, we want to.
You want to improve. So, that is why my question is, do you want to change?
Yes.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes.
Yes. I have another question for you. Do you know this person? Anybody? You all go through internet, you all go through Facebook. How many of you go through Facebook? Don't tell lie. I do. Tell me. Very few? Nobody goes through Facebook. Just really. Okay, then okay. It's not your fault, it's not my fault. Actually, this person, his name is Joseph Annakutti Jos. Joseph Annakutti Jos. He is a blogger. He is a radio jockey. He is an actor. He is a writer. He is an author. He has written many good books that everybody should read. Three main books. One book is Orma, that is means of memory. Second one is what was that? Buried thoughts. Buried thoughts. Third one was Devathinte Charanma, Spice of God. And that was the last book I completed yesterday. And of course, it was completed by our DTM Harish today. See, what that is 283-page book. Just completed in one day. You can understand the interesting things in that book. We too have done within one day. So what is in it? What is in the book? That's what exactly I am the change. This was the blog which this person had done first in Facebook, and the views got millions. I am the change. It was against a wrong thing in the society, a wrong propaganda in the society. If you get time, just go through it. Okay? Now, I just took him and the book, Spice of God, because there was an interesting concept in that book. The concept was, be street smart than book smart. Can you understand anything from this?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody?
Not only a person who studies from the book, but outside knowledge also.
Fantastic. Give a round of applause. Fantastic. Very good. We see what is the difference between street smart and book smart is what exactly she taught. Absolutely. So we learn that the book smart week, we learn many things from our books, teachers, school, even Google, even from others. Many things we learn. But if you want to be street smart, either you should have that much experience, or you should communicate with others to get that experience. Communicate with others means those people who have good knowledge, not only knowledge, good character, good concepts. Those people you have to, you be in contact and you be in communication. That is the importance of communication. When we say communication is very important, because we not only want to be book smart, but we want to be street smart too. This is an English proverb. Okay? So I urge all of you not only to be books. It doesn't mean that you don't study, you don't collect information from books. You should do all that. Along with that, you have to be street smart as well. You should know what is happening in the society. What are the wrong things happening in the society? What are the good things happening in the society? And you should learn them, and you should act according to them. You should not get into troubles. Nobody should make you in trouble. For that, you need to be street smart. For that, you have to be in contact with good people. Who are the best good people you have? Your parents. You should be in regular communication with your parents every day. Whatever you get in the school, you can communicate to your parents. You can just tell them what is happening, whatever happened, good or bad, no matter. So you understand what is treatment very well? This concept I was knowing, but I was not very thorough. But this book had made my eyes open. So you should read as well. Okay, I recommend all of you to read such good books and get maximum information.
So what is the name of the book again?
Devathinte Charanma is a Malayalam book but the English meaning is spice of God. That one, what just I will tell you the concept. Spice of God means not only what he has said, spice of God, you be the one. You be the one of the spices of God. Okay? Spice of God. One of the spice of God. You be one of the spice of God. We are all spice of God, in fact. Whenever there is a need, we used to help because God is not coming there to help them. What is happening? You are going to help them. There you are becoming the spice of God. Spy of God. Understand? So that is the concept. With that concept, let me come to our regular activities. Now today, the newly elected president is going to lead us. I found him a person with great content, who is sincerely trying to improve his communication and leadership qualities. I am sure by the end of this program, we can find a true leader in him. With a cracking round of applause, let us welcome youth leader Atharva Hanuman Pale, youth leadership program as our presiding officer today. One more. Applause is to be given when a person is entering into the podium. That is the actual way of doing it. Let us once, then only the person gets inspiration, right? All the best.
I am audible.
Yes.
So last 1 week has been one of the best weeks of my life. Thank you. First of all, I would just thank you everyone for voting me and believing me as your president. Now, to proceed the meeting, I invite Chaitanya Shri to read the minutes of the day.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Minutes of the meeting. Youth leader Prakriti called the meeting to order at 3 p.m. and read out the mission statement of International Toastmasters. DTM Harish sir then welcomed all the guests and members, and upon Chief Coordinator DTM Manoj sir, then DTM Manoj sir called upon the President Youth Leader Divya Sridhar. Youth Leader Divya Sridhar then introduced the YLOD Youth Leader Arnav Gupta was the YLOD. Youth Leader YLOD introduces the assignees and the theme of the day, which was the sparkle within you. He then introduced his assignees. Grammarian was Youth Leader Siddharth Manoj. Our counter was Youth Leader Mohammad Harun. Vote counter was Youth Leader Pragati. General evaluator was Youth Leader Mohammad Roshan. Timer was Youth Leader Farash Shafi. Then the DTM Dr. Shanti Rekha conducted a workshop on art of listening. Then there was icebreaker speeches. Youth leader, youth leaders and icebreaker speeches were Youth Leader Mohammad Adib, Youth Leader Chaitanya Sri, Youth Leader Leah Ann, Youth Leader Afram, Youth Leader Mazen, Youth Leader Fayaz, Youth Leader Jonathan, Youth Leader Ishan, Youth Leader Aisha, Youth Leader Raj Hanmat, Youth Leader Josman Xavier. Then the joke master, Youth Leader Rayan Naushad cracked the joke. Then it was followed by TT, which was conducted by Youth Leader Joel. General evaluator Youth Leader Mohammad Roshan carried out the evaluation sessions. The evaluators were Youth Leader Vedant Kumar, Youth Leader Vanmika Singh, Youth Leader Farhan, Youth Leader Mirza Irshad, Youth Leader Karthik, Youth Leader Ritika, Youth Leader Aaron, Youth Leader Joanna Sera, Youth Leader Atharva Hanmat, Youth Leader Isha P. Naushad, Youth Leader Divya Sridhar. Then the elections were held of the EXCOM under the election officers DTM Hari's uncle and DTM Sibu uncle. Then the elected new EXCOM President Youth Leader Atharva Hanmat, Youth Leader, VP Education Youth Leader Farhan Naufal, VP Member Youth Leader Ishan Malik, VP Public Relations, Youth Leader Joseph Xavier. Secretary, Youth Leader Chaitanya Sri. Treasurer, Youth Leader Fayaz Naufal. Sergeant at Arms, Youth Leader Roshan and Youth Leader Pragati. Then the winners were declared. For icebreaker speeches, the winners were Youth Leader Afra, Youth Leader Leah, Youth Leader Aisha Fatima. Then for the TT, Youth Leader Aaron and Youth Leader Fazan. Then for evaluation, it was Youth Leader Mirza Ishaq, Youth Leader Divya and Youth Leader Aaron. Meetings was closed by 9 p.m. followed by dinner. Any additions or deletions are there? No? Okay. Hearing none, I announce this was the official meeting. Over to you, Youth Leader.
Wait there. Let him tell. Wait there.
Are there any changes or corrections in the meeting?
Stay.
Seeing no changes, the minutes have been approved as the true minutes of last meeting. Now, so as I said, okay, I'm audible. So as I said, last Friday I became the president of this youth leadership program. But actually, I actually self-nominated myself for the candidate of president with a very low expectations, because today I'm going to share you one of my life experiences, after which I actually didn't care much about winning or losing. So when I was in 6th standard, there was a debate competition announced in our school. I was really excited for this thing, and I was the only one boy from my class who gave my name for this debate competition and also got all the points for the debates. Now the CC in charge was like really happy. She told the class that you should learn something from me. You should be more enthusiastic in all these co-curricular activities. Now, after that, for 1 week, I actually only prepared for debate. I didn't watch any TV, I didn't play any video games. I was just preparing for my debate competition. But on the day of the debate, I don't know why, but my class teacher, she told me that your voice is too low and you can stand in this debate competition. Now, back in those days, I was not able to defend myself because I never argued or questioned any teacher. I actually didn't know why they disqualified me, because we had a mic and I could have used it if my voice was low. Anyways, the whole debate started and I was like literally crying when the debate started. And after that, I came home, I was still crying. I told my mom that I prepared for this competition for like 1 week and now I have been disqualified. So she told me that winning and losing is a part of your life. If you lose something, it doesn't mean that you are like not going to achieve anything in your future. If you have done enough hard work, it's going to pay you in future in some or the other way. After that, I participated in many competitions and never won anyone, but I just like won second or third prize. I was never the first one, but still I was happy that I participated with full enthusiasm, and that's what I did last week. Last week, I came here with very low expectations that people are going to vote for me. But things just turned to be different. So, yeah, thank you very much. And now I invite Youth Leader Tika to proceed the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer, for such an elevating and encouraging introduction. officer, fellow youth leaders, Toastmaster, and distinguished guests, a very warm good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Dear fellow youth leaders, theme of the day, one step at a time. One step at a time, you can change your life. One step at a time, you can go from average to great. Don't be disheartened on the journey to a greater life. Every day, do something in relation to your goals. Everything is possible to those who believe and put in the effort. You can accomplish anything, just know that success doesn't come overnight. It is the result of hard work and dedication on a consistent basis. Don't just do the same thing every day. Do something different. The time shall pass anyway. It is a choice with you. Make every day to either be stuck in average or to strive for greatness. You can live life on your terms. You can. It's possible. Open your mind and awaken to the realization that there are no limits out there. Thank you. With this note, I have a delicate team of assignees who will wisely guide us in building our today's meeting. I request you to hold your applause until all assignees are introduced. To keenly observe today's proceedings, we have our General Evaluator, Youth Leader Mohammed Harun. I'll introduce him later in the evaluation segment. May I request Youth Leader Mohammed Harun to acknowledge his presence and explain the role in brief.
The role as general evaluator is to observe and evaluate everything from the beginning to the end of the meeting and to lead a constructive evaluation session and follow up to do so. I'll wrap up the entire proceedings of the meeting, documenting good practices and indicating the areas requiring improvement.
Thank you, General Evaluator. To conduct the table topic segments, we have a table topic master, Youth Leader Isha P. Nauser and Youth Leader Rayan P. Nauser. I'll introduce them at the table topic segment. May I request Youth Leader Isha and Youth Leader Rayan to acknowledge their presence.
Ishan?
Today I will be conducting section 1 of table topics. Good evening, Mrs. Leader of the day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today I will be conducting the section 2 of table topics. Thank you.
Thank you, table topic master. I invite Youth Leader Atharva to explain the word of the day in brief and his role from the podium.
Good evening to Makwan and all. My role as the word master and grammarian is to introduce you guys the word of the day. I will tell you guys the positives of your speech and some slips of time. Today's word of the day is perspective, meaning your point of view or someone else towards any subject. For example, you can take it that you should have taken this riddle from a different perspective. You can use this word in such ways and use it as much as possible in your speeches. Thank you.
I request all the speakers and assignees to use this word perspective as much as possible. Thank you, Word Master and Ramesh. Our counter. May I request Youth Leader Vedant Kumar Singh to explain his role?
There is a change. Instead of Vedant, Vamika will be the accountant. Vamika Singh.
May I request Youth Leader Vamita Singh to explain her role, please?
My role as art author is to listen to all the members and make notes of sound used as verbal structures and report them when called upon to do so. To count the words used as unwanted pauses and fillers during speeches and report them as pauses and fillers. I will submit my report at the end of the educational session when called upon to do so.
Thank you, Youth Leader Vamita. Youth Leader Farzeen Shafi, can you please explain your role as the timer?
My role as the timer today is to keep track of the time for all the speeches and evaluation sections. For prepared speeches, the time allotted for international speech is 5 to 7 minutes. A grace period of 30 seconds is allowed on either side. For tabletop speakers, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds on the higher side. For prepaid feature evaluators, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds on the higher side. For tabletop evaluator, the time allotted is 30 seconds for each speakers, and for overall evaluation is 30 seconds. I think everyone will do their best. So good luck for everyone. Over to you, Dr.
Thank you, Youth Leader Farzeen. Youth Leader Karthik Suresh, can you please explain your role as a work counter?
Good evening, good afternoon,
Good evening.
dear fellow educators, sponsors and teachers. My role as board count is to distribute and collect votes at the end of each section. I shall count the votes and share the results at the end of each meeting in order.
Thank you, Youth Leader Karthik. Joke Master Youth Leader Mohammed Mazin, can you please explain your role?
Good evening, one and all. My role as a joke master is to crack the walls after retiring when called upon to use. Thank you.
Thank you, Youth Leader Mohammed Mazin. Fellow youth leaders, please let us put our hands together to give a big round of applause to all our assignees. Thank you. Our meeting will have 4 segments. To start with a workshop session, prepared speeches segment, table topic segment followed with evaluation segment. Now let's start our first segment with the workshop presentation. Our first educational workshop is voice and vocabulary. Help me welcome Toastmaster Sajira Anjum.
Welcome.
A warm good evening to all of you. How are you all? I'm so happy today to be here with you all to present this workshop, Voice and Vocabulary. And I know you are all brilliant in your vocabulary. So let's see some few things that will help you to enhance your speeches and not only speeches, your speaking, in your day-to-day life. So to start with, without wasting any time, I want to get into the workshop. So voice and vocabulary. As all of you know, vocabulary and voice is a very important part of speaking. Okay, and an important tool in Toastmastering. Because we give more importance, because without voice, how can people hear, isn't it? So in order to make somebody hear, there should be a voice. So voice is very important in Toastmaster because we are here to speak. Even as a leader or a speaker, we need to communicate. So voice is very important part of that. So
Next. Okay, continue.
So, introduction. there are different types of voices. So to talk with, so as I told you, it's a very important part of tool to impress. We use our voice to impress. Now I'm talking to you. I'm impressing you with my voice. Okay. If it's not audible to you, or if I'm not clear to you, it's of no use. So it's an important tool to impress others. The way you talk, the way you stand, the way you use words, everything counts. So as I told you, there are different types of voices. The first one is resonant. Like we can see when somebody, a vibrating type of voice. Usually we found in singing and all, like some resonance type of voice. Second one is pleasant. Pleasant. The word itself means everything. That is pleasant voice. See, the third one is harsh, very harsh. We feel we are going to very high pitched and not feasible for our ears. Now we find it like a little irritating type of harsh sound, harsh voice, unpleasant to be. And next is monotonous. Something is happening like a robot, same. It won't have any modulation or something. It will be talking in the same tone. So if you listen for that for a few minutes, what will happen? We will get bored. Okay, so that is monotonous, without any feeling, emotionalness, going in the same pace. So these are the different types of voices. So what do you prefer? What do you think the best for you or for a good speaker? Pleasant. So we'll go for a pleasant one. So why you choose a pleasant voice? Yes. We want to have pleasing music, isn't it? Always, sometimes, in any mood we can hear to a pleasant music, isn't it? So it's good to hear. So why? To effectively communicate your message. Because we want the people to hear us. We want the people to show interest in us. So we want to talk in a pleasant and impressive way. So first is to effectively communicate. Second, to favorably impress the audience. Okay, so first one is to communicate effectively. Second is to impress the audience.
Do you want a head mic?
No, sir. So what is pleasant speaking voice? Let's see. A voice loud enough to be heard and sound strong when not loud. It doesn't mean it has to be very loud. Pleasant doesn't mean it has to be very loud. You use the word, say strong, that we can convey any message to, even if it's not loud, we can convey our message clearly to someone. So a voice loud enough. It's not like feeble, it's audible enough. And even if it's not loud, it can convey a strong message, or it can convey your emotions. Clear enough to understand. Because we are communicating, we are using so much of words and vocabulary, everything is there, but none of you could understand. So it's of no use, isn't it? So it should be understood. Pleasing enough to be enjoyable. You're here, if I'm very harsh, loud, and you won't enjoy. So it should be pleasing enough to enjoy. It never sounds monotonous or emotionless. It should have an emotion. So usually we know, we express our emotion through words. Usually a good speaker expresses emotion. So every word has an emotion. The way it is used. Not because of the meaning, but the way it is used. So these are the factors that determine a good speaking voice. Let's see. First is volume. It should be audible. Volume is very important. To add emphasis, now if I'm talking, I'm talking on the same tone, and if I increase a little volume, you will be just, I'm grabbing your attention. You will just So that is very important, that up and down in the volume is very important in while speaking. If I'm taking on the same pace, oh, after some time you will say, oh, same things are happening. But if I just increase my volume, it will, okay, what's happening? Why she raised the voice? So something exciting coming up or something important coming up. So volume, it can use to emphasize, first of all, or dramatic impact on the audience. Now, rate. Rate is very important. Usually, I'm a person who speaks very fast. Okay, so this rate is very important when you speak. Sometimes, we always say silence can speak, more impactfully than sound. So sometimes this pauses, when we pause down, sometimes we take a long pause and then start. It all attracts or it gives an impact on the speaking. So the words you speak, it's all it's been suggested like 125 to 160 words per minute. It seems to be like normal. It's better to be in that level, because even if it's too fast, people will find it difficult to follow. So the audience will be left behind. And if it's too slow, what will happen? Again, it will be boring for you. Okay, so it's better to balance between, like not too fast, not too slow between. So the optimum is suggested to be 125 to 160, within a range of 125 to 160 words per minute. Then the quality. So we will think like how we can improve, because quality, our sound quality, everything is given by God. We think like that, but we can improve our quality through practice, through some exercises, through continuous practice. So what you have to do is, now see, I'm coming from my work. Since I'm working as a principal of the school, every day I have a tireless work. So most of the days when I come, my voice will be like this. So I need to relax my throat. So next day when I get up, it will be fine. So it will be more soothing. So that is the quality. You have to relax your throat. You can do some exercises to relax. Even in Toastmaster manual itself, they have given some exercises here, yawning exercises and all, to keep your throat calm, stress-free. And it will improve the quality of the sound produced. So then we will be having a pleasing tone. Pitch or intonation. It is almost similar, that's why I put it together, so that you will not be confused with the two words. So pitch or intonation, that is, when I talk, there is a rise and a fall, like up and downs. So this is called intonation, that we are more modulating or molding our sound according to the situation. So to demonstrate emotions or conviction, if I'm telling, raising the voice and telling, no, it should be done. So see, it's an impact. So it's conviction. We speak with conviction or emphasize on something. So this modulation is very important. And people with good intonation sound positive, confident, and pleasant. Vocabulary. So vocabulary means a lot nowadays. It's the biggest challenge. Now we all try to increase our vocabulary. But I believe that the vocabulary you will be having up to the age of high school or till 12. We never gain such vocabulary after that. Because that is the time you improve your vocabulary. Now we are purposely learning some words. Whenever we hear any new words, I have a habit of writing it out with the meanings, so that if I need to write some article or something, I take it out some words to use it. Some beautiful adjectives, I always keep it ready, because if I have some script to be prepared, I use, it's good to hear. The people here, they will be happy, we are using some adjectives for them, that is special for them, than just using the normal ones. So I usually do this one, to write it down, some special words I hear. If I'm not knowing the words, I go up and look for the meanings. So it increases the vocabulary. This is the best time for you. The words you are hearing, you will never get it back again. Even that what I learned within my 18 or 16 years, I have not learned after that much. So this is the peak time. You can increase your vocabulary. So These are the things we are going to talk in this vocabulary section, that use vivid words. Use words economically, that's very important, because in Toastmastery, we have limited time. The speeches have limited time, sometimes 5 to 7, 4 to 6, 1 to 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So we should know which words we have to use the words economically. Use short sentences. We are always in a habit of using and. So it will be so lengthy, we will forget what we started with and what we ended with. So better to have short, crispy sentences. Simple one. Very easy to understand. Because we are communicating for the audience, they should follow us. And avoid ambiguity. Ambiguity means double meaning. Some sentences we will never understand because that's double meaning. And next, because we will discuss all this in details, that's why I'm going up like this. And don't use jargons. So first was need for the right word. Choose the right word. That's very important. According to the situation, according to the emotion, or according to the feelings that you want to convey, the concept or whatever you want to convey, you have to choose the word accordingly. And so the word should be clear, accurate, and colorful. What do you mean by colorful words? The words have colors? Huh? Do you think that the words have colors?
Yes.
Colorful means like no, that's what it means, like no vivid words that can explain, like the others like who are hearing can dramatize, they can imagine the things that is being said. So that is called colorful words, beautiful words that give a meaning to what you are telling, or that give a beautiful scenery, or whoever is hearing can imagine what is happening. So we can express in such a way. So I was telling you that use short words, because some speeches like table topics or evaluation, we will be having very less time of 1 to 2 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes. So if you are using like big, so you know when we use a word with the 3 syllables, it takes time. So better you can go for short words so that we can use the time to have more content in the speech. So say component. Instead of that, we can use small. Everybody can understand. Then demonstrate. Show. Very simple as that. Facilitate. Make easy. Inquire. Ask. Numerous. Many. Originate. Begin. Subsequent. Next. So better to go for small, short words. But very important. I told you before. When you like make a speech or something, you can go for beautiful, vivid words. Good adjectives, good vocabulary. This is like when we have shortage of time. Go for short words. I was thinking like, when always we use it in our speeches, the word said. He said to him. But you see, the same said, we can use it in how many ways? This is called like, giving emotion, like to the word. See, in an anger, the same said, we can use the snap, quotient. So the same word, same meaning. But we are using with the emotion. So with the word itself, we understood what was the emotion of that person while saying this thing. Okay, so next one, affection. When it affection, so somebody is saying something in affection. So say, console, he comforted, soothe. So saying the said word, you can see how many words we can have, and in different emotion, excitement, explain, gush, fear, gasps, he screamed. So we can understand he was in fear. See, determination, he declared with that conviction. Okay, insisted, commanded. For happiness, sighed, gushed, sadness, sobbed, mourned. Storytelling, we always have storytelling in our speeches. See, he recounted, he called. All of this have same meaning. What? Said. Isn't it? But with an emotion. Vivid words. I told you, use vivid words to beautify the situation. See, I saw a host of golden daffodils fluttering in the breeze, tossing their heads in the sprightly dance. So, how beautifully, isn't it? We feel like we were seeing that daffodils fluttering the heads, isn't it? So this is how we use vivid words. The clock is ticking, the time is flying. The past increases and the future recedes. It is the past that defines your future. And no man in the universe is rich enough to buy back his past. So, this is how we use vivid words to make other people imagine the situation. Use words economically. Avoid long sentences, I already told, to save time. So avoid long, now this generation we can see, they use abbreviations. Okay, SR. Sometimes we use it in emails, but they are using it in verbal language now. So we have to stand and think what it is. Okay, DTG. They are using now in verbal. So don't use, I'm telling about short words, doesn't mean you use abbreviations in the speeches. So that we will sit and think what he was telling about. Okay, so this generation is mostly using that. Sometimes I have to ask my daughter what it is. What do you mean? GTG. Okay, got to go. So I have to wait and see what it is. So don't use abbreviation that people cannot understand. Or, ISTG. I swear to God. Okay, so these are the things like, we can avoid. Sus. I was thinking, what is this sus? Suspicious. I feel she was telling me, I feel what is it? I feel something suspicious, short form. So they are so, minimalized, like, I never use even, short forms in my written messages. I type everything to make it very clear. But I can see, in this generation, they use so much of words which is not even in the dictionary. So use words that is appropriate and others can understand. That's what I have written in the next one. The Z generation words. Actually, I was looking into when my children were using, I used to go and check it in the dictionary. What does it mean? So they were telling me dog. So I thought they told me dog means cool. But when I check it in the dictionary, the word meaning is stupid. So I was telling, how can you call a cool person stupid? Okay, so this is the Z generation, this generation words. I know you all are hearing these words, isn't it? Huh? You are all very familiar with this word, dog and all, isn't it? Fam is like a word. Bro, they use it instead of bro, very close member of family. For me, fam means maybe I thought it's a family member, but they don't know. It's like a bro we use because it's like anybody who is close to them. Then hyper means to appreciate. Then drip is very, drip I thought maybe something dripping out, but I came to know it's called fashion. So these are the words, but use the words that is appropriate. Don't use such words in your speeches. Next is don't speak so fast. Okay, so what will happen if you use any word wrong or any inappropriate word, your audience will be lost and they will know if you are using drip, and if it's me, I cannot understand what you mean by drip. So your audience will be lost. So use appropriate words that everybody can understand. Then avoid, because I was having problem avoid long sentences with too many related clauses. That's what I told. A, and, or. We use it like again and again. Use it appropriately, grammatically well, and use short single sentences. Can you make it a little lighter? Light is more, and it's in white and white, no? Avoid using filling words. Filling words that we are all aware of. That's why we have somebody called accounder. Like we all have this problem. Like even me, even any experienced Toastmaster will be having. So we are intentionally controlling to avoid such words and all. So use less. Practice in such a way that you can avoid more filling words. Thank you. That's enough. Then interrupt your sequence of ideas for explanation and summaries. See, now I'm talking to you. You can have a pause and you can give an explanation sometimes to make it more clear, or you can summarize so that you should make it feel okay. The audience are with me; they are following me. So you can have a little pauses and summarize, or you can give them the idea for an explanation. You can explain the ideas, what is being discussed. Then the personal pronouns. We can use always in a speech or while we talk, personal pronouns. Personal pronouns because we want the audience to be involved with us. We will do it together. Will you? So we are calling up for the audience. So include them. So they also feel, or we are making them feel they are a part of this speech. Imagine that we are in a barren desert. So I'm taking you to the desert. So this is what we can make it like, pronouns, like to include the audience. Avoid ambiguity. I told about ambiguity. Ambiguity means double meanings. Sometimes some people use sentences. We will not be sure what does it mean. I have some examples for you. Foreigners are hunting dogs. What do you understand from this sentence? Foreigners are hunting dogs.
Foreigners are curious to find things.
Yes?
Foreigners are curious to find things.
No. The sentence is foreigners are hunting dogs. Okay. So it means like the dogs have been hunted by foreigners. That can be one meaning. Or foreigners are called as hunting dogs, isn't it? So this is called ambiguity. We cannot understand the meaning. Or see in the next one, I rode a black horse in red pajamas. So this can be two meanings. Like I am wearing a red pajama and I'm riding a black horse, or the horse is wearing a red pajama. It's not clear. So this is called ambiguity, like double meanings, that it is not clear. Avoid jargons. You know what is jargons are? Jargons are like some special language or some special words used by some professional or a special group of people. So everybody will not be knowing what it is. I have given an example. So it will be difficult for others to understand. See, AWOL, AWOL. It's a short form of absent without leave. It's used in military actually. Military people use this one as a jargon. What it means, a person whose whereabouts are unknown. But we don't know about this one. Even if you see this phrase like absent without leave, we think like somebody was absent without giving a leave application or something. So actually it's a jargon used in military that is called AWOL, AWOL, and it is called a person whose whereabouts are unknown. So this is called jargon. Some professionals use this one. Like cash. There is a word called cash. C-A-C-H-E. Most of the people cash, when we spell it like C-A-S-H, it's not like that. C-A-C-H-E. We use it, it's a technical term, like it's a short storage. If I tell you about cash, you will not understand what is this cash. You will think like cashing, money or something related to it. So these are some jargons like some people professional use that is not like common and everybody cannot understand. Now, improve. In order to improve your voice, your modulation, your speaking skills, you have to improve your articulation. What is articulation? It's the way you say your words. How you pronounce, how clearly you say, how it sounds, it is called articulation. So, improve your voice quality, what you have to do? You have to improve your articulation. So, the basics of articulation is shaping of sound by tongue. We are using our tongue, lips, teeth, and your face. All through the face we are using to modulate our words that is coming up. Nose also come. Sometimes some nasal sounds will come because of overuse of nasal sound, breathing. All these are affecting. Some sounds will be it's off. It won't be properly pronounced. So clear articulation requires 3 conditions. That is, sound must be accurately formed. The sound that we are producing should be accurate, it should be complete, and it should be supported with breath. So we should have usually singers we tell they should have a breath control. Why? Breath and the sound is very important. It is articulating each other. So this articulation is based on 3 processes, that is 3 conditions. That is, sound should be accurately formed, and it should be supported by breath, and it should be completely finished. Then, Techniques to improve articulation. How we can improve our sound or voice quality? That is, open your mouth while talking. Okay, you have to open your mouth while talking. So some we can see they talk with your lips closed or your teeth, so it will not be audible. So dear youth leaders, or when you speak up, first thing you have to do is open up your mouth and speak. So it will be audible to everyone. Now, loosen your lazy lips. Sometimes some people will not use the lips. Actually, you have to use your lips and want it about like around the words, so that the words will be expressed properly. So please loosen up or relax your lips and wrap it around your words, so that it will be well spelled or well pronounced, or it can be well heard. Watch your tongue. You will always say it's a slip of your tongue. Always tongue will come in the way of your words. So watch your tongue always. Keep it away from your words. Then practice saying the words clearly and carefully. That you have to do. When you practice, you have to practice each word specifically, like clearly and carefully. So when I was talking about practice, when you practice, find a calm, quiet place without any hindrance, without any hesitation, so nobody is there to watch you, and practice loudly without any hesitation. Okay, you are only there. What do you have to do? You have to record your voice and see and play back and hear the voice and see how it is. First, when you hear, you will be surprised and you will be, you feel very much, hearing your own voice, you will feel bad. Actually, first time. Don't mind, never mind. Practice, and keep going this one, and you can overcome all the faults or ambiguities or anything come on the way, and through that you can make your sound and voice to be heard properly to the audience. Why? When you record your voice, this is exactly the same way the audience will be hearing you when they hear through the microphone. So it will help you to understand how it is going to be heard by your audience. So practice in that way, record the sound, hear it again, so you yourself can correct yourself. So make an honest effort to vary the pitch, rate, volume. You can do by yourself. You don't need anyone, because you know your fault, where I have to improve, and it will help you a lot. Now pronunciation. This is the biggest challenge of this century actually, isn't it? When we pronounce in British, everybody says, oh, it's wrong. Then we will go for American. Then it will be Australian. So I prefer to be Indian actually, because we are Indians. Okay. So this is really a challenge of this time. People will point out, no, you're pronouncing it wrong. But maybe it's a British. This is because of this technology actually. Before we hear a word from our teacher, whatever she said, it's correct. Okay, we don't know whether it is American or whether it is wrong also, we have no idea, isn't it? But now it's not like that. You will go and check whether the teacher said it correctly or not, isn't it? Yes. How many of you did like that? Yes, I usually do that. I go and check whether it is correctly pronounced or not. Okay, so this is the biggest challenge. So pronounce is how to say a word. That's how we are saying a word. That's all. Word. So when you pronounce, actually some syllables are stressed. Okay, that's makes the difference actually. There's no mistake actually. When you use like now opportunity. Sometimes some stress on O, some stress on Q. So this is how it changes. It's only about stressing any syllables. Then rhythm, how we use the sound is coming. Sometimes we love to hear some words pronounced, isn't it? It's about rhythm. Then again intonation, the rise and fall of the sound. So I have a small thing for you. Kiss your bow, kiss your W. You have heard this one? Kiss your W and bite your V. Did you ever try this? Okay, see when you say W word, wow. So we will get the exact sound for V and W. Otherwise we are confused whether we are using W correctly or V. V and wa. V and wa. When you use V, we are biting our lips. And when you say wa, water, it's come like that. So it makes a difference. So that's why it's called kiss your W's, that wa, water. Okay, you can use any word. village, village. So this is like it changed the pronunciation. So we are just using our tongue, teeth and your lips. So it changed the sound that is produced. Now, to be like little fun, actually always we are confused with some words like whether we have to pronounce, we have to use these words or something like that. So these are some examples I have put it for you. Sometimes when we use B and if T comes after B or M becomes before B, B will be silent. So you can see some word like subtle. It's not subtle. B is silent because there is T after B. Then you can see W-O-M-B. When B comes after M, when M comes before B, B is silent. Always. Okay, so warm, Tom, we always call it as plumber. It's not plumber, it's plumber. B is silent. Why? Because M is coming before B. Now, thumb, there are some exceptions also, like remember, we spell it correctly, remember. Or obtain, okay? Now, these are actually speaking to be frank with, like when you speak about pronunciation, it takes it's a long topic actually. So I just took out like few examples for you. Then N or G. So we can see when N comes after D, D is silent. Wednesday, pledge, D is silent. Pledge. It's not handsome, it's handsome. Because N is there before D. So this is the rule. It always been applicable to all. Then you might have heard about magic E. You know magic E? When we have two vowels in a word, when this E comes at the end, it will lengthen the word. For example, see a vowel at the end. See mat, mat, A is silent. When you put E at the end, mate, it changed the sound of the vowel, plus it is elongating. You can check with any word. See strip, stride. Strip is short. When E comes, stride. Okay. Then cut. Cut is the short word, short sound of U. That is the vowel sound U. And when it is E comes, cute. And it changed the longest sound of U. Cute. Now K. K is also, K is very much familiar because whenever N comes after K will be silent. Like night, knife, knowledge, always it happens. Then this is very important, this H and O. So at the beginning of any word, if H and O comes together, H is silent. Then we will use articles also with exchange because the sound comes as a vowel. So what we will use always an honor, an hour, honest, an honest person. Okay, so we always use an. Why? The sound is a vowel sound. Because we use a and not because of the vowel letters, because of the vowel sounds that it produces. Now WR, this is also very common mistakes people do. Like when W and R comes or WHO comes, it will be silent. W will be silent. Like wrong, right, whole. This is some examples. So that's all for today. So when you speak, you stand up straight, give your lungs room. You breathe, you do a good breathe. So, and vary your voice to match your words. That's very important. What we are saying, something happy, and the voice is very sad. It's not good. So you have to get your voice according to your emotions that is being conveyed and speak clearly. The most important thing I want to tell you is always speak clearly. Use correct word and practice the words clearly and accurately. So that's all. And speak with enthusiasm. That's the energy we want to see in all you youth leaders and everything else. So you are all good speakers. You should have that energy. Speak up, open your mouth, say it loudly. Everything will be fine. Thank you so much. If you have any questions.
How was the workshop done by seven? On the workshop perspective, how was it? Fantastic. Let us give a round of applause. Actually, Sanjay is a very busy person. Actually, she has taken his time, taken her time, and come over here We are very much thankful to you.
It's my pleasure.
And it's our honor and it is your pride to have a school principal for such a workshop. Let us give another round of applause. Honor Sajira ma'am. Let me invite our president, PTM Harish Bhagavan, as well as the youth leader president. Youth leader Atharva also please come to the stage. I think our DTM Biju will be the person for handing over the plate to DTM Sajira. Please do it. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for it. You please of the day can please take that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sajira ma'am. Now let's start our second segment with prepared speeches. Our first speaker, youth leader Mohammed Roshan. He is in grade 9. His hobbies are to play football, watching anime and movies. And the title of his speech is War Never Ends.
Am I audible now?
Yes. Let us put up that mic.
Okay. Never think that war, no matter how necessary nor how justified, is not required. Said Hemingway was just 18 years old when he volunteered to be an ambulance driver for World War I. Youth leader of the day, respected Toastmasters and youth leaders and dear guests. Good evening. War. Why do countries always resort to war? There is one complex but simple answer. Because human beings are by our nature violent, selfish, and greedy. We are possessors of things that's considered ours and we covet things that's not. That means people can live with what they have and always long for more. One of the best and live examples is the war between Russia and Ukraine. Do you know why Russia had started this? Well, there are a lot of factors and reasons, but one of them was because Russia wanted to take back land that it had once lost. Isn't Russia like the biggest country in the world? Why would it need more land? Life is short and precious. Every moment you live is a gift. You were born with nothing and you can't take anything with you when you die. You need very little to live a happy life. I wonder why people go to war. Why can't people just live with what they have? War, so-called armed conflict and terrorism have resulted in unimaginable consequences today. Nearly 34,000 people are forcibly displaced every day due to conflict or persecution. Children are not exempted. The laws of war are cast aside. Hundreds of thousands of children are subjected to bomb attacks in their homes or in their schools. Can you imagine if war took place in the countries where we live in and where children had to get drafted for war or where parents had to watch their children go to war? Can you imagine the immense sadness they must feel? Let us hope that these circumstances never reach our livelihood. Adolf Hitler, the man who started World War II, had once mentioned in his autobiography called Mein Kampf how in his youth he wanted to become a professional artist, but was rejected twice by the institute. Now let me ask you all a hypothetical question. What if he had passed the entrance exam? Instead of Adolf Hitler, the man who started World War II, we would have gotten the greatest German artist, Adolf Hitler. Not saying that would happen, but let's assume. Which brings me to my last point, which is to spread love, peace, and supportment of others. Upbringing of others during their lowest points. Comforting others during their saddest times. And to spread love, peace, and unity among people and its nations. With war, hate, and unfairness happening in the world, we feel as though helpless, not knowing what to do to help stop these things from occurring in the world that we live in. However, there is a way, and it starts with you. Spreading love, peace, and unity in your own way can make a really big difference in the world that you live in and make it a more positive place. It doesn't have to be too great or too big. It can be as small as expressing your gratitude to your friends or family. If we can all come together and do a small part, we can make a more positive place to live in without any fear or sadness. So let us all come together and do our best in keeping the world a better place so that nobody has to have the fear of losing their loved ones to this thing we call war. Over to you, Bill.
Now you just talk something.
Hello?
Now it is clear?
Yes.
Clear? Don't keep it into the everybody. Please listen. Don't keep it towards the front. So whatever that breath comes, it will also go on through that and it will also sound as echo. So just stop.
Hello, I'm audible.
Clear? All the best. Well done.
Our second speaker is youth leader Vedant Kumar Singh. He is in grade 8. His hobby is to play video games. And the title of his speech is Emotional Intelligence.
Little more.
Am I audible now? Let me start my speech with a question. Do you guys know what is the biggest deficiency in workplaces like office, school, colleges, etc.? Let me tell you, it's emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence
is when you understand your and other people's emotion. In today's world, IQ gets you into big colleges or maybe even good jobs. But emotional intelligence helps you throughout your life. It helps you to build strong relationships and resolve conflicts. Fellow Toastmasters, youth leaders, and all my dear guests, my name is Vedant Kumar Singh, and today I will be giving a speech on emotional intelligence. You might be wondering where I got this random topic, emotional intelligence. On the day 2 or 3 of youth leadership program, Mr. Hari Shankar was talking about emotional intelligence, and it stuck with me. I was curious on what emotional intelligence really is. When I went home, I couldn't sleep all day, even at night, just because I was thinking what emotional intelligence is. So a quote came into my mind. Do you know what it is? Let me tell you. Parents are our first teachers and teachers are our second parents. So I thought I'll go to and ask to my parents. Easy, right? Let me tell you, it was the worst mistake in my life. Do you guys want to know why?
Why?
I'm going to tell you, and you're not going to like it. When I went to my dad to ask this question, Dad, what is emotional intelligence? His perspective was very wrong. He started to say, I chat with emotional people all day and I send them intelligent messages. So it makes me emotionally intelligent. My mother was right there, but she was not agreeing with any of this. So my dad said, let me prove it to you. In WhatsApp, all day I send nice DP, gorgeous status, Om Shanti, etc. So I am making everybody emotional. So it makes me emotionally intelligent. But my mom still did not agree. And it made my dad a little bit furious. So my dad said to my mom, why don't you explain what emotional intelligence is? My mom said, when I go outside, when I see gold or clothes, it makes me emotional to buy it. And if you're smart enough and quick enough to buy it for me, it makes you intelligent. So bring emotions and intelligent, it makes me emotionally intelligent. I left them alone because it was giving me a headache. The best place to search about emotional intelligence was internet. As I thought, I started searching Google, YouTube about emotional intelligence. I found out when you can understand, use and manage your emotions. It's called emotional intelligence. It's very helpful. When you start to regulate your and other people's emotions, it makes your emotional intelligence go up. Emotional intelligence helps in relationship building, resolving conflicts, even reducing team stress during tough times. Do you guys want to know few things that you can do to increase emotional intelligence? Let me tell you. Few of them are, look at your work environment. Self-assess yourself. Look how you manage stressful situations. Look at yourself talking to others. When you observe small things like this, you will start to see the mistakes and growth needed in your life. And once you started to take the steps, your emotional intelligence will increase rapidly. There is this guy, I forgot his name, but he is an American psychologist who masters in emotional intelligence. He has 4 key points that he says, if you have, you can increase your emotional intelligence. I will tell you those 4 key points. One of them is self-assessment. After self-assessment, it's self-management, then social assessment, and then relationship management. I assure you, I have tried these all, and if you use these key points rightly, your emotional intelligence will increase rapidly. Now, I would like to conclude my speech saying that emotional intelligence is a very important thing in our life. It's needed for everybody, and I assure you, if you use what I said in my speech rightly, it will surely increase your emotional intelligence. And there's a small disclaimer. Please do not listen to what my parents said, because if you do, a lot of problems can come from me. Thank you.
Well done.
Our third speaker is Youth Leader Mohammad Farhan. He is in grade 10. His hobby is to play football. And the title for his speech is Yes, I Can.
Not clear. A little more closer.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time, said the great Thomas Edison. Fellow youth leaders and distinguished guests, a warm good evening to one and all.
Good evening.
It was a cold winter evening when the sun was setting in horizon in its beautiful form. A slight breeze was caressing my hair while I was sitting in that park. The turbulence inside me was so severe that I just was not able to appreciate the beautiful weather around me. I just returned from my vacation, but could not get my head off my role model, who was dragging himself to the ground, who was gasping for air, but was determined and said, "Yes, I can." There was a boy who loved football so much, and he had two elder brothers. At the age of 8, he was recruited to join a youth system of New Orleans Old Boys, a Rosario-based club. Recognizably smaller than most of the kids in his age group, he was eventually diagnosed by doctors as suffering from hormone deficiency that restricted his growth. Doctors and his parents said to him, because of his disease, he can't continue playing football and any other sports. His parents was also so poor that they could not afford to pay several $100s per month for his medication. Still, he didn't give up on his dream. He worked hard. So, at the age of 13, when he got a chance to train at the soccer powerhouse youth academy, La Masia, and have his team cover the medical bill of his disease. Do you know who it was? Yes, it was Lionel Messi. He was having a hormone deficiency, but he never gave up on his dream. He chased his dream and is one of the best football players in the world. For so many years, Messi didn't want a major cup. However, as long as the champ he always is, he didn't give up. He did not fear failure, but rather feared not trying to achieve. So he didn't give up. He tried again and again to make his national team to a top level. Recently, he won a major cup on July 11, 2021 for Argentina with Brazil. And now he won his second major cup by winning the Finalissima with Italy. I didn't know his past was this much struggle and overcome all his odds. In the vacation, my cousin said this to me: failure is a stepping stone to success. Who all have failed in your life? I have many times. During playing football matches, while exams, and while playing video games. Yes, life is difficult, to a full stop when you think that there is no more way possible to get things done. Think of Messi and the fighting spirit. Convert the impossible to the possible and see, life will make wonders. Friends, let us fight back our laws. Let's wake up to the endless possibilities of life. Let's keep trying and when you face any obstacle, think of such inspiring personalities of Messi and say yourself, yes, I can. Or to you.
Our fourth speaker is youth leader Pragati Pillai. She is in grade 7. Her hobbies are to play chess, horse riding, and attending quizzes. The title of her speech is Failure is the Stepping Stone to Success.
Hello? Have you ever wondered how hard it is to recover failure? Respected Toastmasters, fellow leaders, and honored guests, good evening.
Good evening.
My first speech was an icebreaker in Toastmasters. It did not go as I expected it to go. In the middle, I paused, and the lines were blank in my mind. I still remember the day when I descended from the stage in disappointment. My parents were present there to watch me perform. And they tried to calm me down and said, "It was your first speech and you did well, but you had to make some improvements in it." On the way home, my parents encouraged me and motivated me to make an even better speech. And I have to admit, that really had its effect on me. The next day after my breakfast, I called my grandfather. My grandfather was one of the most professional speakers I know. That is the reason I called him. And I said what happened to him and how the speech went. My grandfather said, "It's really normal to have such experiences in your first speech. Even the most professional speakers have such experiences in their first speech." So, to make me more motivated, my grandfather narrated a story. The story was about one of the most professional speakers in the 80s. He said that the man was really nervous on his first speech. And he thought it was not so good. And after his speech, he reached the seashore and presented his speech to the waves, pretending the waves were audience. And after tons of practice, he finally managed to conquer stage fear and became a good speaker.
Make it down.
And became a good speaker. His next speech was a very good one, and it was not only famous in Gettysburg, where he performed, but also in the whole of US. And I was very curious who the great man was, and I asked my grandfather who the man was. And my grandfather said, the man was none other than the 16th President of the US. That is Mr. Abraham Lincoln. I was really inspired by that story. Then I wanted to make an even better speech. I kept in touch with my mentor and practiced different topics. So I practiced different topics to improve my speaking skills. And then, sometimes I even wondered why I joined Toastmasters. When I see my class test papers, and worse, my mother's reaction on it when she sees the 5 out of 10 marks on my class test. I suddenly saw Godzilla instead of her. My next speech was table topics, which was not new to me. I always had it in my English projects, so I had a bit of experience in it. And this time I was a bit of confident, I had a bit of confidence in performing my speech because I knew how to do it. So I practiced different topics to improve my speaking skills. And then the day was really near when I had to present my speech. And finally the day came. I was not so confident as I was before when I reached the Toastmasters. And when I saw others performing table topics, it gave me a bit of confidence. And then YLOD called my name. Let's welcome Pragati, people like to perform her table topics. And then I hopped on the podium with a nervous heart. And the PT master told the topic. Your topic is the most exciting thing in your life. I listened carefully and waited for 10 seconds to think. And then I started speaking. I spoke for 1 minute 27 seconds exactly, which was really impressive for me because I managed to keep it on time. And then I gave the mic to DTM Manoj uncle over here, and he praised me and said, "You really did a good job." And as I was going back to my seat, I heard 3 vials complimenting me, which was a very strange feeling. A bit of happiness and a mix of tension. For some reason, I didn't know why the tension was there. But then, the most shocking thing happened. The vote counter reached the podium and announced the voting results. And I was beyond shocked to find my name in the 3rd prize. And thank you for all for voting that day for me, for the 3rd prize. That really was a big thing for me. And with that, I end my speech here. I hope it is way better than my first speech. So thank you and over to you.
Our last and final speaker, youth leader Siddharth Manoj. He is in grade 6 and his hobbies are playing piano and cycling. The title of his speech is Cleanliness is Purity.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing inspires cleanliness more than unexpected guests. Dear youth leaders, how many of you like to clean your room at home? Please raise your hands. Okay, fine. Youth leader of the day, fellow youth leaders, dear Toastmasters and guests, a warm good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
I was very fond of scattering things all around my house, like books, pencils, pens, car tools, many more. The list is endless. After playing in the ground, I never bothered to clean. I keep my room messy and my mom busy. My mother's hobby was to collect beautiful glass and ceramic items. But my hobby was to break them and see their internal structure. Whenever they're in my reach, I used to
break, and test. After the destruction, I never bothered to clean the room. My parents were fed up with me and punished me many times, but no changing me. I know some of the youth leaders were like me, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. Once, back in 3rd grade, our teacher explained us about the cleanliness of Gandhiji's Sabarmati ashram, which was kept very clean and tidy. People used to wash their utensils after eating by themselves. And Gandhiji used to say that cleanliness is more important than independence. Now, I would like to share a moment that changed my life. Once my parents took me to Singapore, a very beautiful and clean city. Singapore is very clean and has many natural attractions like the Birds Park, the Night Safari Park, and many more which I have in the city. Singapore completely changed the paradigm of cleanliness in my life. While feeding some birds in a local garden, I spilled some of the food on the ground. Suddenly, a Singaporean hustled and said, "Please do not litter the ground." He explained me the necessity of keeping our environment clean and making our earth a better place to live for everyone. His words made a spark in my mind. One more amazing fact about Singapore is chewing gum is banned in Singapore. Chewing gum is one of the worst factors in littering a public place. Now, my little sister is on my footsteps. I gave her some excuses for breaking some glass items because she is only 1 year old. And one more thing which is very fun. She is very fond of messing up my room. Dear friends, cleanliness is the symbol of purity of mind. Cleanliness is the collective responsibility of each and every citizen in this world. In order to achieve a clean world, first we have to start within ourselves by being neat and clean. Then, maintaining our home neat and clean. Further, we are responsible for the cleanliness of our schools, roads, villages, cities, nations, and the world. It is a continuous process. I would like to conclude with a famous quote. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create multiple ripples. I started my cleanliness journey by keeping my surroundings neat and clean. Let's create this world a better place for every living being. Dear friends, are you ready for the cleanliness journey?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Over to you, dear friends. Thank you so much for
The speeches were really amazing, weren't they? May I get the timer's report, please?
So first, by Mohammed Roshan, 4 minutes 34 seconds. Yes, qualified. By Vedant Kumar Singh, 5 minutes 10 seconds. Yes, qualified. By Mohammed Farhan Naufal, 5 minutes 2 seconds. Qualified. By Pragati Pipile, 5 minutes
So all the speakers are qualified. May I request all of you to cast your vote. Kindly write the youth leader's name who you think should get first place next to number 1 in your voting slip. Same is followed for second and third place. This brings to an end of our prepared speech segment. May I request our joke master, youth leader Mohammed Mazin, to come to the lectern to share a joke.
Good evening, one and all.
Good evening.
Today I'm assigned as the joke master, and let me present to you all the corniest and cheesiest jokes of all time. The first one. What do you call a priest that becomes a lawyer? A father-in-law. Why shouldn't you write with a broken pen? It's pointless. Why did the football stadium get hot after the match? Because all the fans left. What did the ocean say to the shore? Nothing, it just waved. Why couldn't the pirate learn the alphabets? Because he always got lost at sea. What do athletes or sprinters eat before they race? Nothing, they fast. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, youth leader Mohammed Mazin, for such a nice joke. Now I announce the break, 10 minutes break. We are going to start. Please settle down. If you want your snack, please get it and sit down. Fellow youth leaders, Toastmasters and guests, good evening once again.
Good evening. Good evening.
Let us start our third segment of the evening, the table topics. To conduct this most exciting segment, we have an exciting personality. Our table topic master, youth leader Isha P. Nausir. She is in grade 8. Her hobbies are to read books, draw, and calligraphy. Please help me welcome youth leader Isha.
Respected Toastmasters, distinguished guests, parents, youth leader of the day, and fellow youth leaders, good evening to one and all.
Evening.
I feel really grateful to be your topic master for today. The purpose of table topic is to sharpen our communication skills of listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking on the field. The time allotted to is a minimum of 1 minute and maximum of 2 minutes, 30 seconds, after which you will be disqualified. With this, now I invite the first speaker to talk on the selected topic. Our first speaker is a very energetic youth leader. Help me welcome youth leader Muhammad Adib Sheikh to the podium, please. topic is, if you had an opportunity to get a message across a large group of people, what would your message be? I repeat, if you had the opportunity to get a message across a large group of people, what would your message be?
Distinguished Toastmasters, respected guests, and fellow youth leaders. Today, I am assigned to speak on the topic. If I was to spread a message to all people, what would the message be? And my message would be to encourage and make people, encourage people who want to improve, to get better at everything, whether they are good, naturally good, or bad at it. When you hear someone try something for the first time, they may not do it very well, but you should not discourage them by making comments or laughing. Instead, it's much more appreciated is to encourage the person to get better. You help him, you give him tips. If you are good at it, you may help him by sharing your wisdom about the topic, sharing your experience. How was your first time? How did you improve? And what made you improve? You can also give them motivation to get better at something by giving the benefits of what getting better would help them in their life. And pretty much that's all I want to say. That the message that I want to spread to be encourage people to get better and motivate them to do their best.
Thank you, Adikshi. Our second speaker is a dynamic youth leader. Help me welcome youth leader Mirza Ishaq to the podium, please. Your topic is, if we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make mistakes? I repeat, if you learn from our mistakes, then why are we always afraid to make mistakes?
Please raise your hand if you are afraid to face failure. I think almost everyone is afraid. But we know, no need of afraid, because no one is going to judge us on that. That is the platform, Periyar Master Club. Wonderful place, they will judge you in your presentation. You can improve from there. TT Master, fellow youth leaders, distinguished Toastmasters and judges. A very good evening to one and all. Failure is a very bad thing for everyone. I know. I also do afraid of standing here, but now I take my full strength to present in front of you about failure and mistake. When I was a kid, I used to do so many mistakes that my parents always scolded me and said, don't do. But I'm learning from each and every one of that. You know, if you do a mistake, don't do it again. Try don't do it again. If you do a mistake and you do it again, no problem, don't worry. Try again. Then one day you will definitely succeed in that. The main mistake I remember now is that when I went to stage and started to speak, the TT master gave me one topic. I didn't hear the topic clearly. I started to speak something. And after that, when I did the shake hand, the TT master repeated the topic again. They understand I was completely against the topic. Anyway, if you made a mistake, once again, study from that, because failure means first attempt in learning. Failure and mistakes are same. So, I think everyone is going to learn from their mistake. Isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you and all.
Thank you, Mirza Ishaq. Our third speaker is a wonderful youth leader. Help me welcome Farah Shafi to the podium, please. Hello. Your top. Your topic is, if you had a chance to go back on time and change one thing, what would you change? I repeat, if you had a chance to go on time and change one thing, what would you change?
A very good afternoon to dear Toastmasters, fellow youth leaders and parents.
Good afternoon.
One thing I change in going time is in one day when I was 7 years, I went to a place in Oman. Its name is, I don't remember its name, but we went to we go to the road before and in there one thing I change is the way to reach there, because it is very hard to reach, very slow we have to go, and the road is very springy, and we should go reach in the time, and I reached there in time. But that thing change I have to make there, and if you have any change, tell me and do it. I am concluding my speech with
Thank you, Farah Shah. Our fourth speaker is a wonderful youth leader. Help me welcome youth leader Aaron. Your topic is, if happiness was national currency, what kind of work will make you rich? I repeat, if happiness was the national currency, what kind of work will make you rich?
Respected Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and all my fellow youth leaders, a warm good evening to one and all.
Good evening.
Today, the TT Master has given me the topic, if happiness was a currency, what job would you do? Helping. Who here likes to help other people? Yes, I'm guessing most of you do. So, every time I help a person, for example, so many poor people out there these days, and children in orphanages, so many children who are left alone. Giving anything to them makes me happy. That's one of the jobs I would like to do. So, if there is another job I want to do, I would do donation, a company where you can fund people who are in trouble or are suffering to live. Another thing would be to build orphanages for kids and start a business for helping poor children who needs help. I would like to conclude my table topic by saying, help others, whatever you can do. It shouldn't be anything big. Every day in your life, you can do so many things to help others. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, youth leader Aaron. Our fifth youth leader is an energetic youth leader. Help me welcome youth leader Leah and Titus to the podium.
Hello. Hello.
Your topic is, if your life was a novel, what will be your title and how would your story end? I repeat, if your life was a novel, what would be the title and how would your story end?
If, respected Toastmasters, fellow youth leaders, and most welcome guests, a very pleasant good evening.
Good evening.
If the TT Master has given me the topic, if my life was an oval, what would be my title and how it would end? If my life was an oval, my title would be to go after my dreams. Well, I'm kind of like the sports person, so I would want to become a. I have two dreams actually: to be a chess to be the world champion in chess, and also to become a football player. And if I could accomplish these dreams, it would be my greatest accomplishments ever. I have always, well, my dreams change every year. I don't think it will stay the same next year. But for now, if I would have if my life was an oval, I would go after my dreams, because my mother and father, my parents always told me that do what you love and love what you do. So if my life is novel, my title would be to go after my dreams, and it would end by me accomplishing those dreams. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Please give a thunderous round of applause to all the table topic masters. Can I have the timer report, please?
Yes, Muhammad Adib say 1 minute 20 seconds qualified. Mirza Izzat 1 minute 48 seconds qualified. Farah Safi 1 minute 22 seconds qualified. Aaron Emmanuel 1 minute 33 seconds qualified. Leah and Haigers 1 minute 32 seconds qualified.
Over to you, Ayman.
Call the vote counter. Tell the vote counter to cast their vote.
First section of table.
Yeah, first section only. Okay.
Vote counter, please cast their cast your vote.
Number 2. Okay. Yeah, yours will. Okay.
With this, we come to our second session of table topic. Please help me welcome our second table topic master, youth leader Ryan, who is in grade 6 and his hobbies are to solve cubes, read books, play football and cycling.
Youth leader of the day, thanks for the generous introduction. Mrs. Youth leaders, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, a very warm good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
I feel really honored to be your table topic master. Please be reminded that the time allotted is minimum 1 minute and maximum of 2 minutes 30 seconds. after which you will be disqualified. With this, are you all ready?
Yes.
With this, now I invite the first speaker to talk on the selected topic. The first speaker is Arna Gupta.
Am I audible to all?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Arna Gupta, your topic is when do you feel like yourself? I repeat, when do you feel like yourself?
When do you feel like yourself? Okay. So, thank you, Table Master Ryan, and you good afternoon to all new leader of the day, Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and my dear friends. A
Good
very
afternoon.
good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
So, my topic is time when I
No, when do you like yourself?
when do you like your feelings? Okay. So, when I feel like myself, there are so many times when I feel I like myself that I am know that in my schools when in some awards winning competitions every single time I will get an award except some then I feel like myself that I am an award winning boy. So that another thing. Yes. When I'm on the era, I got this much awards. So that I feel like myself. I got this award, that award. I am enough and I got this much award. So then I think that I think like myself that I am enough. Enough of that I feel like myself. Thank you.
Now help me welcome our second speaker, Arna Gupta. Arna Gupta, your topic is what are three moral rules you'll never break? I repeat, what are three moral rules you'll never break?
Respected Toastmaster, parents, distinguished guests, and my dear friends, very warm good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
So, my topic is what three moral rules you will never break in your life. Moral rules. Yes. So, my first moral rule is to be rude. Actually, I'm a very kind girl, but sometimes I feel rude in a very weird manner. And my second
each other. The respect is the most important thing which is in our life, and we all should have to respect everyone, each other.
And you see the Anamutta.
Then our third speaker is Chaitanya Sri.
Hello.
Chaitanya Sri, your topic is, if you could go back in time and tell a younger version of yourself one thing, what would it be? I repeat, if you could go back in time and tell a younger version of yourself one thing, what would it be?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Distinguished Toastmasters, fellow guests, and fellow youth leaders. Now, one thing that I would say to my younger self when I go back in time is that, good job. You're doing a great thing. I mean, this thing, going to the leadership program, like I have seen so many leadership programs over the past years, but I have never been a part of it. And I was just like, how do they go and speak there? Oh my god, like I want to go there, but I'm so scared. Like I used to be one of those people. And once, when I was younger, I was a guest in one of the leadership programs. And they were calling guests for paper topics, and I got a topic. I don't remember which topic it was. It was so bad. I literally spoke Hindi. And that was like, oh my god, what was I saying? Like, I still have that video, and I was like, oh my god, what was I saying? And now I'm here in a good leadership program, being a part in the leadership program. I'm saying. So I would just say, good job. You're doing great. You'll do great, and you'll be successful. And with that, I conclude that is that just don't be afraid. You know, come conquer your fears. That's something that I would like to convey a specific message to my younger self. Thank you.
Thank you, Yutrika Chaitanya. Our next speaker is Jal Roshan. Jal Roshan, your topic is, how do you define success? I repeat, how do you define success? Am I audible?
Yes.
Dear table topic masters, Toastmasters, and parents, warm evening to all.
Good evening.
So, table topic master has given me a topic, which is, how do you define the success? Well, I define the success as being a good person. You have to be a good person. No matter what, you score good marks on your test or exams. Even though Thank you, Youth Leader Jan Roshan. The fifth speaker is Raj Hanuman. Raj Hanuman, your topic is, what is the most valuable lesson you learned from your parents? I repeat, what is the most valuable lesson you learned from your parents?
So, good evening to one and all present here.
Good evening.
My name is Raj and my topic is, what is the most valuable lesson I learned from my parents? So, I will take some time to think on the topic because I am not prepared of this topic. So, the most valuable lesson I learned from my parents is so after coming back from school, I am tired, so I sleep. So after sleeping, I have to also study. So after coming back from school, I can't study because I am tired. But after sleeping, mind becomes fresh, so I can study well. So this is the most valuable lesson I learned from my parents. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, Youth Leader Raj Hanuman. Please give a thunderous round of applause to all the cabinet topic speakers. Then I'll tell you a thing I have just noted when they were speaking. Like some were really motivating the speaker, but some were talking, some were like like that. So I prefer you keeping an eye contact with the speaker. It motivates them. So I hope you follow that. Then can I have the timer's report?
Arnav Gupta, 1 minute 49 seconds, qualified. Arnav Gupta, 1 minute 58 seconds, qualified. Chaitanya Sri, 1 minute 29 seconds, qualified. Joel Rosen, 1 minute 38 seconds, qualified. Raj Hanuman, 1 minute 19 seconds, qualified. Everyone is qualified.
So everybody is qualified. May I request the youth leaders to cast their votes for the best table topic speaker? The audience, thanks for being such a wonderful and lively audience. Over to the youth leader of the day.
For improvement, we need constructive feedback. So let us have a expert comments from our general evaluator and his team. Our general evaluator today is a true symbol of commitment and support. Ever encouraging and dedicated youth leader. Please help me welcome youth leader Mohammad Harun to evaluate today's segment.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you, youth leader of the day, for that wonderful introduction. Respected Toastmasters, fellow youth leaders, and distinguished guests, a warm good evening to one and all.
Good evening.
I welcome you all to another exciting session, the evaluation session. Evaluation session is very unique and important session in Toastmaster educational program. We talk to many people and do many things in our personal and professional life. But very seldom we get instant feedback with compassion and motivating us. In youth leadership program, we got experienced youth leaders who give very wonderful feedback to motivate the speaker and explain him areas of strength which we can capitalize in further and areas which need some extra attention. For evaluating the prepared and TTE speeches, I have tonight a very strong team of seasoned, stylish and very effective evaluators. Starting with international speech evaluation. We have 5 international speech evaluators to evaluate the first speech. Please help me welcome Youth Leader Faiz Naufal to evaluate our first speaker, Youth Leader Mohammad Roshan.
Thank you, Youth Leader Mohammad Harun, for that wonderful introduction. Fellow youth leaders and distinguished guests, good evening to all.
Good evening.
First of all, let me congratulate Youth Leader Mohammad Roshan for completing his international speech in style. Boys and girls, please give him a round of applause. The speech was amazing. The positive about the speech is you had a good introduction and a conclusion. We had a wonderful topic. It was about war never ends. You had a wonderful quote. It was never think that war, no matter how necessary or nor how justified, is not a crime. Give him a round of applause for that. Recommendation: you can utilize the stage more. Your handbell crossing hands frequently. It makes the audience think you are having fear. So always pay attention to it. Overall, the best thing I liked about your speech is the quote and the topic. However, if you can just fine-tune your speech by following my recommendation, you can evolve into a better speaker. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Youth Leader Faiz Naufal, for that wonderful evaluation. To evaluate the second speech, please help me welcome Youth Leader Ishan Malik to evaluate our second speaker, Youth Leader Vedant Kumar Singh.
Hello everyone, good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Today I am going to evaluate Vedant Kumar's speech. His speech title was Emotional Intelligence. It is a good title and your speech was very good. Your speech was very interesting. You had good eye contact and you attracted the audience very well. Your speech was humorous. You have good hand gestures and your transitions were perfect. Your speech was interesting, but you have some points where you have to improve. Try to slow down. You are speaking a bit too fast and change your tone here and there. Your vocal variety needs to be improved. Your pronunciation was good, but every time you said emotional intelligence, you said T like how you pronounce T in the. So you should try to change that. Overall, his speech was fascinating. I am sure your speech was amazing from everyone's perspective. You also delivered it in a very well way, and your opening was good. Your body of speech was nice. It was logical and you had a clear flow of ideas. Your conclusion was effective and was also climatic. Your vocal quality is good, but as I said, improve your voice and increase it. Your grammar was nice, and your language and words were good. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, Youth Leader Ishan Malik, for your wonderful evaluation. To evaluate the third speech, we have a ninth grader who loves playing football. Please help me welcome Youth Leader Safas Jonathan to evaluate our third speaker, Youth Leader Farhan Nasir.
Youth Leader of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and respected dignitaries. A warm good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Today I am going to evaluate Youth Leader Farhan. Youth Leader Farhan, you started with a wonderful quote. Your main body was the story of the legend Lionel Messi, which was a good idea to add in your speech. You really did an outstanding performance. I really love your voice modulation and your gesture on the podium and on the confidence you had. The things I suggest you to add in your speech for improving your speech are, you could have add some humors and use the podium. And I really loved your speech and enjoyed it, especially when you spoke about football and Messi. And I believe that you can be a very best speaker ever by adding the suggestion in your speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Youth Leader Sifas Jonathan, for your wonderful evaluation. To evaluate the fourth speech, we have a seventh grader who loves writing. Please help me welcome Youth Leader Aisha Fatima to evaluate our fourth speaker, Youth Leader Pragati Pillai.
Distinguished guests, esteemed Toastmasters and fellow youth leaders, a warm good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Can all of us give a round of applause for Pragati for doing such a beautiful speech? From my perspective, my reaction was, wow, I'm really impressed. She mentioned about her last icebreaker speech, which I have witnessed, and I have to say, she really improved. Like, honestly, I'm surprised. The hand gestures was great. Your eye contact with the people was good too. I can say you're a confident speaker. Your expression on each line and sentence was incredible. Even though it was a marvelous speech, some of my few recommendations are, you can reduce the usage of stage a bit. You can also give a message at the end instead of suddenly stopping. You could have acted out a sketch about the conversation with your grandfather. You could have changed your voice and make it into an old person's tone. Like when your grandfather said, it's okay, all this happens, you can change the tone like, it's okay, all this happens. Other than that, your speech was fantastic. I can be sure that you can improve all this and keep up the good work. And in case I forgot, your humor, the humor you added is lovely and you made us all laugh. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Youth Leader Aisha Fatima, for your wonderful evaluation. To evaluate our fourth speech, we have a ninth grader whose hobbies are playing badminton and table tennis. Please help me welcome Youth Leader Divya Sridhar to evaluate Youth Leader Siddharth Malik.
A very good evening to everyone, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow youth leaders and guests.
Good evening.
Today I will be evaluating Youth Leader Siddharth Manoj's speech. First of all, it was a wonderful speech that you delivered. It was a great jump from an icebreaker to an international speech. It was a marvelous speech. You started with a quote as well as with a question, which even attracted the audience's attention even more. You seemed like a very natural speaker with your beautiful smile, hand gestures, and voice modulation, which instantly grabbed the attention and made us to hear more of your speech. You covered one of the most important requirements of an international speech, which is to have a personal example as well as a personality example, and you filled both of them together in your international speech. So that was wonderful. You also sprinkled humor here and there in your speech, which retained the audience's attention to your speech. You gave a beautiful message at the end with powerful words that the audience can still remember your message. And at the end, you gave a call for action, which is one of the most important things as well at the end of your speech by addressing to the audience if they would agree with you or not. So that was marvelous as well. And though your speech was a fantastic one, I do have a humble recommendation for you. If you would have given some more voice modulation by increasing or decreasing your voice even more, it would have created more suspense in your speech. For example, if you could have said, "Do you know what I said to my sister?" So if you would have raised your voice at that level, the audience would be even more attracted to your speech and would increase the level of suspiciousness in your speech and what are you trying to say even more. Otherwise, it was a wonderful speech and best wishes for your further projects as well. If you take my humble recommendations, I'm sure you'll be a marvelous speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, youth leader Divya's leader, for that wonderful evaluation. It is an end to international speech evaluation. Moving on to table topic speech evaluation, we have two evaluators for our table topic speech evaluation session. To evaluate TT session 1 speeches, we have a 9th grader who loves reading and writing. Please help me welcome youth leader Jocelyn Xavier to evaluate table topic session 1 speakers.
General evaluator, fellow youth leaders, respected Toastmasters, good evening.
Evening.
Today I will be the table topic evaluator. Our first speaker, youth leader Adib, he started with great enthusiasm and he also maintained eye contact. A small recommendation, the speaker could have used more vocal variety. Congratulations. Second speaker, youth leader Mirza, he started with great confidence and enthusiasm. He had nice hand gestures and started the speech off with the questions which grabbed the audience attention. Third speaker, youth leader Faraz, was confident and maintained nice facial expressions. A recommendation to you is you could have taken more time to study and think about the topic, which would result in a smooth speech. Fourth speaker, youth leader Aaron, was confident and enthusiastic. He asked a question and got the audience engaged. A recommendation, the speaker could have used more humor and kept the energy flowing from beginning to the end. Fifth speaker, youth leader Leah, was enthusiastic. She maintained nice eye contact. She could have used more eye contact and vocal variety. All the speakers were on time. Nobody was disqualified. Congratulations to all the TT speakers for session.
Thank you, youth leader Jocelyn Xavier, for your wonderful evaluation. To evaluate TT session 2 speakers, we have our last evaluator who is a 7th grader and loves singing. Please help me welcome youth leader Afra Ashraf to evaluate TT session 2 speakers.
Thank
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone. Today, I would be evaluating 5 amazing table topic speakers, starting with Arna Gupta. You started with great confidence. We could all see it in his eyes. You started with a wonderful smile that made everyone energized. And a recommendation that I would give you is, you could have stop to think about yourself, learn about the topic, just take time, relax. It's a basic point that I would give everyone. I've noticed it. Now, going to second speaker, Arna Gupta. They are twins, so we see it. They smiled, their confidence boost was amazing. We could all see how energized they were. That was a really great, point for a great speaker. A recommendation I would give you is, it is the same, you could have given the perspective of yours, because I felt like you were giving the perspective of the others, saying that, you could have done that. And then going to third speaker, Chaitanya Shri, you did an amazing job, started with great confidence and ended with a great boost of energy. I loved that of yours, and it's a great quality for a speaker. And a recommendation that I would give you is, you are recalling a memory of your younger self. So you could have acted it out to make it more interesting for the listeners to, get enhanced with you and, enjoy your table topics. Now going to Joel Roshan. You take the courage to come up to the stage, stand there and be confident of what you are, and that is a great quality for a speaker. And a recommendation that I would give you is, we all have failures and success, and that's what makes us who we are today. And you started with great confidence that I loved about you. And a thing that I would tell you is, get the key word of this one. What are you trying to explain to the audience? What are you trying to enhance them with? And if you focused on that, I believe you would be a great speaker yourself. Now going to Raj Hanmat, you gave a good life experience that we all enjoyed listening to. It was a great experience that we listened to. We enjoyed it a lot. The recommendation I would give you is, you could have been confident, a more energetic boost. If you had that energy and boost, I would strongly believe that you would be a great speaker yourself. All the speakers did a great job. Give a round of applause for everyone. The recommendation that I would give all the speakers is, listen to the topic really carefully. Take time, listen. You have 30 seconds in your hands. Don't worry. Keep calm. Everything would be fine. Thank you. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Youth Leader Afra, for your wonderful evaluation. We have come to an end of speech evaluation session. Hope you enjoyed it. Now moving on. May I get the timer's report, please?
Yes, first prize number 1 minute 18 seconds qualified. Mohammed Ishan Malik 1 minute 28 seconds qualified. Jonathan 1 minute 1 second qualified. Aisha Fatima 1 minute 22 seconds qualified. Divya Sridhar 1 minute 47 seconds qualified. Josmin Xavier 1 minute 39 seconds qualified. Afra Ashraf 2 minutes 45 seconds qualified.
All the evaluators are qualified. May I request all of you, including the guests, to cast your vote.
Only youth leaders.
Only youth leaders to cast your vote. And I request the vote counters to collect the ballots after people have voted. In the meantime, I invite Ward Master and Grammarian to come to the lectern to give his report, please. Youth Leader Atharvahan.
Mask.
Okay. We're just waiting your room to settle down.
Yeah. You can ask them to settle down.
Okay.
Ask them.
Okay, you all can settle down now.
Please settle down. Yeah. Continue.
Okay, sir.
So, to all the youth leaders and all the TET speakers, you guys, all of you did an amazing job delivering this speech. Now, I am here to tell you some of your positive things from your speech. I will begin with Mohammed Roshan. He started by asking a question which was really good, which kept us engaged, and the message about peace was really good at the end. There were no grammatical mistakes in your speech. Next was Vedant Kumar. The question you asked me starting kept all the audience engaged. You told the origin story of your title. Humor was there, and tips were there in the. Oh yeah, tips were there on emotional intelligence. And yeah, there were no grammatical mistakes. Farhan Naufal started with quote, there was a story, and yeah, your speech was quite engaging. Now, next, Pragati Pillai started with questions, started with the story, and there was humor in your speech. And finally, Siddharth Manoj, who asked questions and had humor in his speech. He shared his life experiences and gave a nice message in the end. So, to all the prepared speakers, there were no grammatical mistakes in your speech, and you guys didn't use any filler words, or neither you guys stumbled at any moment. Now, coming to TT speakers session 1, Adib Sheikh. You gave an amazing speech, told not to comment or make of fun of those people who make mistakes. That's a really good message. Next was Mirza Ishad. Started by asking questions and there was confidence and there were no filler words used. Next was Farhaz Shah. Farhaz Shah, yes. Farhaz Shafi, yeah. You gave an amazing speech, but here's one thing I would recommend. Your speech was really amazing, but it could have been better. Next was Aaron. Yeah, even you gave an amazing speech. You started by asking questions, and yeah, it was really amazing. Finally, Leah and Titus, your speech was really amazing. Again, finally coming to the conclusion, no one used the word of the day in session 1 of TT speaking. Now coming to session 2, Arna Gupta, your speech was amazing, and Arna Gupta, both, your speech was really amazing. Chaitanya Shri, even your speech was amazing. You shared your life experience and you were confident. Next was Joel Roshan. Yeah, it was really nice speech, but could have been better. But I liked the way you started this speech. And finally, Raj Pavle, even your speech was amazing. Few grammatical mistakes here and there, but yeah, overall I liked it. Now coming to evaluators, all the evaluators did an amazing job. Only thing which everyone should take care of is that you should use the word of the day. You should pay attention to this thing. Only 3 or 4 people use the word of the day. That too were evaluators. I know for those people who have prepared speeches have literally learned the speech, so it's hard to use these words. But just try adding something in the end. For TT speakers, it's easy. But yeah, I was happy that evaluators used this. Thank you.
Thank you, Youth Leader Tarwan, for your detailed report. May I request our art counter to give her report, please. Youth Leader Vanika sir.
Good evening, everyone. Now I'll submit my report as the R counter. So in the speech, first, Mohammed Roshan, no verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 1 word repetition, and 1 brief pause. Youth Leader Vedant Kumar, no verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 3 word repetitions, and no pauses. Youth Leader Farhan, 1 word verbal crutches, no unnecessary pauses, unnecessary words, 3 word repetitions, and 3 pauses. Youth Leader Pragati, 1 verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 4 word repetitions, and no pauses. Youth Leader Siddharth, no verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 1 word repetition, and 1 brief pause. Coming to the table topic speakers, Youth leader Mohammed Adib Sheikh. 1 verbal crutches, 1 unnecessary word, no word repetition and no pauses. Youth leader Miss Shah Arshad. No verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 1 word repetition and no pauses. Youth leader Faraz Shafiq. 5 verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 2 word repetition and some brief pauses. Youth leader Aaron Emmanuel. 2 verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 2 repetitions and no pauses. Youth leader Leah and Titus. 3 verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 2 word repetition and 1 short pause. Youth leader Arnav Gupta. No verbal crutches, 6 unnecessary words, 3 word repetitions and no pauses. Youth leader Arna Gupta. 5 verbal crutches, 2 unnecessary words, 3 word repetition and 1 long pause. Youth leader Chaitanya Shri. 2 verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 1 word repetition and no pauses. Youth leader Joel Roshan. No verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, no word repetition, 1 very long pause. Youth leader Raj Hanmant. 4 verbal crutches, no unnecessary words, 1 word repetition and no pauses. Thank you.
Thank you, Youth Leader Vamika Singh, for your detailed report. My dear friends, let us give a big round of applause to all these evaluators and attendees for their excellent performance. Now it is my turn to evaluate the overall proceedings of the meeting. The appreciable points are: all things were arranged in a very good way. Improvement was seen in all the participants, as we saw all participants were qualified. I hope all youth leaders will have very good leadership qualities and speaking skills at the end of this program. Few recommendations are: to clap when the speaker comes to the podium, not when he is backside. Except which, meeting was very nice. Thank you, Toastmaster Manoj Uncle, for giving me this opportunity. Over to you, Youth Leader.
Especially gents. Very good. Ladies, okay.
What a constructive and encouraging evaluation segment. Please give a huge round of applause to our general evaluator and dedicated team. Now I request our vote counter, Youth Leader Karthik Suresh, to come to the lectern and announce today's result.
Yeah, see, one or two things I want to point out. See, shake hands. Actually, we are starting this from the beginning itself. We are telling you should have a firm shake hand when you are coming and going. Now, somebody is coming very tired and telling you. Shake hand means it should be. It's a respect we are paying to the person giving the speech, or it's the person coming to the podium. So respect that. Okay, I understand. Ladies, when ladies are there, means girls are coming, they should offer. Then only the boys will give shake hand. So that has to be kept in mind. So when you offer, then then we shake hand. But both boys are coming, then also you will not give shake hand. No, you can give a firm shake hand. That shows equality. Okay. Then whenever you are speaking, speak to the audience. Evaluators are speaking. Evaluators are for the speakers, right? Evaluators are for the speakers. Then the speakers should take the attention. Okay. Means every speaker there is an evaluator. So that speaker should take maximum attention. They should be there and they should attend. And if required, they have to take notes also. Okay. So that is the way to improve ourselves. Understand? Yeah. We should avoid, because that is, as I said earlier, it is a disrespect to the speaker in the body. Okay, it is a disrespect. So that we should avoid. Try to be in the reverse mode. You should pay attention. Actually, I will tell in my another day as a presentation. I will let you know how to respond to the speakers in the body. Okay? All the best to them. I think now it is ready. Still not ready. Yeah, no, it's continue. Anybody want to crack a joke? Anybody has ready-made jokes with you? Yeah, that's another way to, yeah, I request anybody volunteering to come to the podium and say a few words. Anybody? Please, ladies first. Service. Yeah, see, this is the problem I told. The person is coming to the podium. That should be the way.
It is hardly 40 feet from there to here, and it took almost 40 years for me to come to this center stage and stand in front of you guys and speak boldly. But at this tender age, you got this opportunity where we did not have this opportunity. When your age kids are enjoying party, enjoying movies, enjoying serials at home by this time, maybe they will be reading also, but you have taken so much pains to spend your valuable time here and to develop a soft skill of this nature. This is a great savings in your lifetime, that whatever you are investing now, it's a savings, and this is going to be accumulated in your throughout your academic, and you are going to excel wherever you will be there, and you will be noticed wherever you are going to be available. And definitely use this opportunity even in your schools, or try to create an opportunity that you come to the stage and perform yourself and be distinct with others. So this platform has been created by these tall leaders, and they are investing so much money, so much time away from their family time. They have nothing to get returned from you except your contribution, and see you where you were in the beginning and where you are now. So please utilize this opportunity. It is a great opportunity for all of you. As I said, it was not available for us. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and I really thank Periyar Toastmasters Club for giving this opportunity for my daughter also, and it's a pleasure for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Who next? Please. Yeah, Manjula ma'am, please.
Dear youth leaders, Periyar Toastmaster, DTMs, Toastmasters, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening to one and all. Really a great transformation. I attended the meeting on the first day, and today is 5th or 6th meeting. I felt this is almost a grand finale program. Very good transformation. Hats off to everyone. This is what which we have to learn, because at times even me or even your parents will always compare who is the topper and who has got first and who is competing with you. So this is a general dialogue, a common statement from your parents. So my humble request is, kindly don't compare with anyone. Each and every contestant, each and every youth leader did their amazing work today. Dear Toastmasters, you all will agree to my statement? Yes. It's wonderful. So there is nothing to compare with you all. Where you have to compare is how you were in the last meeting and how you are now. How you were in the first meeting and how you are going to be. And that is what the comparison which you have to be. So take this as a mindset. Kindly don't compare with any of the contestants. You will be best in your way, and other kids have got their own style to propose themselves with their thoughts, what they have got in their mind. So keep in your mind, learn some good things, try to incorporate in your speech. So I can't speak like sir, and sir can't speak like madam. So everyone have got their unique talent. Kindly go with that and be confident, be proud, and deliver it very nicely, because communication is the best art along with your knowledge and academic efforts what you are gaining from your school. Thank you very much once again for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am, for that words of wisdom. Really, we have taken it by heart. Thank you very much. Yeah, who next? Please. All are welcome. From the yeah, please. Yeah? This is ready? Okay, I will hand over the podium to
Now I request our vote counter youth leader Karthik Suresh to come to the lectern and announce today's result. I also request our president officer and YLP coordinator CM Manoj sir to come to the podium.
Good evening to fellow youth leaders, Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. So, first section is speech evaluator. The third prize goes to Faiz Naufal. Second prize for speech evaluator goes to youth leader Afra Ashraf. First prize for speech evaluator goes to youth leader Divya Sridhar. Next, TT speakers. Best. Next is Best TT Speaker Award. Third prize goes to Aaron Emmanuel. Second prize goes, second prize goes to youth leader Leah and Titan. First prize for TT speaker goes to youth leader Mirza Irshad. For the next section, it is the TT speaker. Third award goes to youth leader Chaitanya Sri. Second prize goes to youth leader Arnav Gupta. The first prize of the TT speaker goes to youth leader Arna Gupta. Next is best prepared speakers. So the third prize goes to youth leader Pragati CPN. The second prize goes to youth leader Siddharth Manoj. The first prize goes to, any guess? Correct. Youth leader Vedanta. today's role is finished. So, over to the youth leader of the day.
Congratulations to all the winners, all the speakers and my dear assignees. Dear youth leaders, it has been a real pleasure and privilege to be your youth leader of the day. I would like to thank all my assignees and all good hearts which guided me and our team to wisely build this meeting. My special thanks to our Presiding Officer, Youth Leader Atharva, and Vice President Education, Youth Leader Mohammad Farhan, for this opportunity. Over to you, Presiding Officer.
Am I audible? Yes. Today's day was really amazing, wasn't it?
Yes.
Now
you have a round of applause then.
all the speakers did a really amazing job today. Now, to proceed the meeting, I invite VP Education, Farhan.
Thank you, President, for the invitation to announce the next week roles of the assignees. Our next meeting will be on 10th of June 2022, Friday. My team of assignees for the next meeting will be our wordmaster and grammarian will be youth leader Faraz Shafi. Timer will be youth leader Cephas Jonathan. Our counter will be youth leader Muhammad Farhan Nofal. Jug master will be youth leader Divya Sridhar. Our TT master will be youth leader Faiz Naufal. And our general evaluator will be youth leader Vedant Kumar. International project will be youth leader Muhammad Haroon, youth leader Karthik Suresh, youth leader Ridiga, youth leader Farzin Shafi, youth leader Ria, youth leader Arna, youth leader Arnav, youth leader Chaidanesri, youth leader Isha P. Naushad, youth leader Joanna Serra. Speech evaluators will be youth leader Abid Sheikh, youth leader Muhammad Roshan, youth leader Wamiga Singh, youth leader Mursa Irshad, youth leader Pragati Pillai, youth leader Siddharth Manoj, youth leader Ryan P. Naushad, youth leader Joel Roshan, youth leader Jocelyn Xavier, youth leader Muhammad Mazin. TT speakers will be youth leader Wamiga Singh, youth leader Abid Sheikh, youth leader Ryan P. Naushad, youth leader Afra, youth leader Ihsan Malik. TT evaluators, youth leader Aisha Fatima, TT master, youth leader Muhammad Faiz. Hope the above are correct. If any doubts or concerns, please let me know. Is that alright? Thank you. Let us inform these are our assignees for the next meeting. Let me request all of you to practice very well in your roles and come with 100% confidence so that you can perform impressively. Thank you very much and over to you, President.
Now, I invite President Mr. Harish to the stage.
Thank you, Ajana, for an excellent job as the president first time. Well done. I think as per agenda, we are supposed to conclude by 10 o'clock. We have 5 minutes in hand, and I have something to get off my chest. I know you all would like to go home early, but there is something that is weighing me down, and I think this 5 minutes I am going to take 5 minutes of your life to get something off my chest. Last week, there was a news item from Kerala. One girl, she had studied excellently well and scored A+ in all her 10th grade exams, committed suicide on her 11th grade. Why? Because she felt that she was addicted to mobile phone. And her marks went down and she committed suicide. Why do children commit suicide? Do you have an answer? You are all children. Do you know why? Yeah.
When they give up.
They gave up. Yes. What makes them? What triggers them? What really happens? Yes, please.
Mentally.
Yeah, mental damage. Yes, exactly. Yeah, please. You're all right. Now, how to get out of it? Okay, Adara, what do you want to say?
Sir, they use hope and faith is broken.
Faith is broken. Faith is broken.
Faith is, exactly, you are all right. But the question here is, yes, Ikran, what is that? Right. Now the thing is, okay, they couldn't. Now the thing is, what is the antidote for it? Alright, it usually happens like this. There is a disappointment or a failure, and that sets off a chain of thoughts. And this chain of thoughts can go two ways. And in the wrong cases, what happens is that the children think that it happened to me because I am inherently bad. They feel ashamed. Once a person feels ashamed, what happens to them? They lose their energy. So the first time if they did something a little bad, the next time they do not feel the energy to do it even at that level. So it is going to be a sliding curve. And when it slides the next time, what happens to them? They feel, I am sure it is definitely something wrong in me. And what happens? It goes in a downward spiral. And at the end, they get depressed, and some people turn to violence, as you have seen in the US school shooting, and some take their own lives. This is because they feel they failed because they are inherently deficient. That is, they feel ashamed of themselves. This is one way the thought can go when you are met with failure or disappointment, and that need not be. Thing is, there is another way to think about failure. You can think, I failed because I did something wrong. There is nothing inherently wrong in me, but there was something that I did that went wrong, that caused my failure, and I will try to correct it. You know a person who did like that? Emperor Ashoka, after the Kalinga War, what did he feel? I did something wrong. I am going to correct what I did. All the greatest winners in this world, if you look at them, they didn't possess any extraordinary intelligence. All that they had is, I am going to get there, I will work for it. And those people who decide that I am going to work for the improvement, what will happen next time when they try to do it, they will be improved just by a little bit. Even if it is just by 1%, what will happen the next time? They will improve by 2%. Imagine they are improving every day by 1%. Can you imagine at what level they will reach at the end of 1 year? 365%. Actually 38 times. Means if your capability is at this level today, at the end of 1 year, if you are improving just by 1% per day, it will be 38 times like this high. This is just a subtle change in your thinking that will take you there. Never ever think when you fail that you fail because there is something inherently wrong or deficient in you. Because I can guarantee you one thing, all of you are going to fail someday in life. You will fail. At that time, what are you going to think? What will you think?
Work hard.
Come on.
Yes. Yeah.
How to recover it and make it even better.
Sure. Right? Yeah. Absolutely. So you have to, at that point, you need to think that I am going to work and I failed because I did something wrong. But there is going to be someone in your life who will come and tell you, you failed because you are not good. There is something bad in you. There is no point, even if you try, because your capability is only limited, you are not going to reach anywhere. Somebody is going to tell. It might be even a teacher, a parent, a friend, or an enemy. Someone is going to tell. At that time, what would you think? I will give you the answer. any person on earth does not have the knowledge or capability or skill to predict what will happen tomorrow. Have you heard of J.K. Rowling? Okay, she was an impoverished woman she was living on government handout. She wrote the first script. And do you know how many publishers rejected her first novel? Can you imagine a publisher rejecting her first novel? How many? 11. 11, yes. The 12th publisher only accepted and he became a billionaire. What would have happened if J.K. Rowling thought that when the 10th publisher rejected her book that it is because something wrong in my novel that all these publishers are telling me no, and if she had stopped trying. This is not only true with J.K. Rowling. So many people have told Thomas Edison that you are not good. And what happened with this electricity and light? Because Thomas Edison chose not to believe in what those people told. I am telling you, whoever is going to tell you that you are bad, those people are stupid. Keep it in your mind. Whoever it may be. Even if somebody tells you that you are deficient, always change that thinking in your mind that what they are telling me is that I have done something wrong and I will work to correct it. Do you get it? Yes. So what is the principle? When faced with failure, always think, I will try to improve. Never ever think that there is anything deficient in you. Okay? Keep that thought in your mind. And with that, I think it is time now for us to adjourn for dinner. Before that, let's go for a group photo as usual.